Deer farming in the United States is a thriving industry that produces deer, antler, velvet, and venison, valued for their health benefits and culinary appeal. In 2025, over 4,000 deer farms operate nationwide, generating millions in revenue from velvet supplements and gourmet venison. Deer velvet, a natural supplement used for centuries in Eastern medicine, supports joint health and energy, appealing to older adults seeking wellness solutions. Venison, a lean, high-protein meat, is gaining popularity in U.S. restaurants and grocery stores for its rich flavor and low-fat content. The industry has grown significantly, with states like Texas, Pennsylvania, and Ohio leading in white-tailed deer farming. Recent trends show a 25% annual growth in deer farming. Driven by rising demand for natural supplements and game meats, farmers combine traditional practices, such as feeding deer herb-enriched diets, with modern technology to ensure quality and safety. However, concerns about chronic wasting disease, CWD, a neurological disorder affecting deer, have prompted stricter regulations to protect farmed and wild populations. This documentary explores how deer farming delivers velvet and venison to American consumers. From serene farms to advanced processing facilities, the journey highlights innovation and care. Let's dive into the process to understand why deer products are becoming a staple for health-conscious older adults and food enthusiasts. Deer farming starts with meticulous care. Farmers provide deer with diets high in natural fiber, like wheat straw rolled into bales, to support digestion and antler growth. In 2025, many U.S. farms incorporate organic herbs into feed to enhance velvet quality, responding to consumer demand for natural products. Feeding troughs are filled evenly to ensure all deer receive adequate nutrition. This focus on health reflects the industry's commitment to animal welfare, which is critical for producing safe, high-quality velvet and venison. Velvet harvesting is a precise process. Mature deer are guided from pastures into specialized pens designed to minimize stress. These pens are narrow, limiting movement to keep deer calm. Humane antler removal, often under anesthesia, is overseen by veterinarians to ensure animal comfort. Antlers regrow annually, making harvesting sustainable. In 2025, advanced monitoring systems track deer health during harvesting, addressing CWD risks by isolating affected animals. Farmers in states like Pennsylvania emphasize transparency to build consumer trust in these practices. After harvesting, antlers are dried and ground into powder in state-of-the-art facilities. The powder is processed into capsules, tablets, or liquid extracts sold in U.S. pharmacies. In 2025, Deer Velvet supplements are marketed for joint mobility and anti-aging, with sales projected to rise 15% annually. Venison processing follows strict hygiene standards. Deer are processed in controlled environments, and meat is packaged for high-end markets. Venison's popularity has surged, with restaurants like Arby's offering limited-time venison sandwiches, though most supply still comes from New Zealand due to U.S. production limits. Innovations like Deer Velvet baths are also trending. Spas across the U.S. offer these treatments using velvet extracts for skin and wellness benefits. Aborn Deer Farms, a key player, promotes sustainable practices to meet growing demand. Despite growth, challenges like high fencing costs and CWD regulations persist, requiring farmers to invest heavily in biosecurity. Deer farming in 2025 blends tradition and innovation to deliver deer velvet and venison to American consumers. Velvet supplements support joint health and vitality, while venison offers a healthy, flavorful dining option. Strict farming and processing standards ensure quality and safety. You can find Deer Velvet capsules in pharmacies or venison at local markets and restaurants. Ask your doctor about velvet supplements or try venison for a nutritious meal. Despite challenges like CWD, the industry's growth shows its potential. Thank you for exploring the journey of deer velvet and venison with us.
The process of uploading and transporting deer to a food factory involves several meticulous steps to ensure the quality and safety of the meat. First, the deer are humanely captured and inspected for health, ensuring compliance with Canadian wildlife regulations. Each animal must meet specific weight and size requirements, typically between 150 to 300 pounds, to qualify for processing. The transport vehicles used are equipped with specialized ventilation and cooling systems to maintain an optimal temperature of 34-39 def, preventing spoilage during the journey. Deer are loaded carefully onto these vehicles in groups, ensuring no more than 20 animals per truck to avoid overcrowding. Once they arrive at the food factory, a thorough inspection is conducted before the deer are moved to the processing line. This careful approach from transport to factory ensures that the meat reaches the production facility in prime condition, ready for processing and global distribution. Once the venison arrives at the food factory, it moves into a tightly regulated processing system to meet the high food safety standards in place. Each carcass, typically weighing between 180 and 250 pounds, is transferred to a temperature-controlled room, kept below 37 degrees to maintain optimal freshness. At the food factory, experienced workers carefully remove the hide and internal organs, adhering to strict hygiene protocols outlined by the USDA. The venison is then sectioned into specific cuts, with around 60% processed into steaks and roasts, while 40% goes toward ground venison and specialty products. Throughout the process, the food factory maintains rigorous standards to prevent contamination from pathogens like E. coli, ensuring the meat is safe for consumption. The venison is vacuum sealed in packages that are clearly labeled for traceability, and after passing all inspections, it is ready for distribution to markets worldwide. After the deer are processed, we will learn about the transportation and processing of donkeys in Canada. The transportation and loading of donkeys begins with strict regulations to ensure animal welfare and food safety. Donkeys, which typically weigh between 400 and 600 pounds, are transported in specially designed trailers that are fully ventilated and temperature controlled, maintaining temperatures between 40 degrees and 50 degrees to ensure the comfort and health of the animals. Each trailer is equipped to hold up to 15 donkeys, allowing enough space to avoid overcrowding during transport. Before being loaded, donkeys undergo a brief health check to ensure they meet the criteria for food processing. Loading is done carefully, using ramps designed to have a gentle slope to reduce stress on the animals. Transport vehicles travel to the food plant under monitored conditions, with travel time limited to 12 hours to reduce stress and ensure the donkeys arrive in the best possible condition for processing. This meticulous approach ensures both quality and compliance with Canadian animal transport regulations. Similar to deer, donkey meat is processed at the food plant following strict guidelines to ensure quality and safety. Although the donkeys are carefully inspected before shipping, they are inspected again before entering the production line. The carcasses are transferred to a temperature-controlled environment kept below 38 degrees to maintain freshness. Skilled workers then remove the skin and internal organs, processing the meat into specific cuts. About 70% of the donkey meat is used for high-demand products like steaks and sausages, while 30% is processed into ground meat or specialty products. The food plant follows strict safety protocols set by the Canadian Food Inspection Agency (CFIA), testing the meat for contaminants like E. coli and Salmonella. Each portion is vacuum sealed and labeled for traceability before being approved for export. This careful process ensures that the meat meets domestic and international food safety standards. In addition to being harvested for meat, donkeys are widely valued for pulling carts and producing milk. Donkeys have been used for centuries to transport goods, especially in rural and agricultural settings, where their strength and endurance allow them to pull loads of up to 500 pounds. In many developing regions, they are still relied upon for everyday tasks, making them an essential part of local economies. Donkey milk, another rapidly growing product, is increasingly sought after for its health benefits. Rich in vitamins A, D, and E, as well as omega-3 fatty acids, donkey milk is prized for its ability to soothe skin conditions and boost the immune system. Global demand for donkey milk products, including cosmetics and dietary supplements, has surged by nearly 40% in recent years due to these health benefits. The increasing consumption of donkey products reflects a broader interest in sustainable and natural alternatives in both health and agriculture. Are there any other methods of transporting and processing deer and donkeys? Leave a comment below the video to discuss with us. And don't forget to subscribe to Trending Farm channel so you don't miss out on documentary videos about food factories around the world at 2.
China's deer farming industry, centered in Jilin province, produces approximately 70% of the nation's antlers, a staple in traditional Chinese medicine (TCM). The industry involves over 300,000 farmed deer, primarily red and Sika species. Deer antler products contribute to an industry valued at over $1 billion annually. Venison consumption is also growing, with deer meat sold in urban markets as a high-protein alternative. The industry faces challenges including disease risks and ethical concerns around antler harvesting. In Chinese culture, the deer holds a deep and multifaceted historical significance, transcending its role as mere livestock. For centuries, the deer has been revered as a symbol of prosperity, longevity, and even beauty. Deer were also vital to ancient Chinese communities, providing sustenance and materials, and their various parts were used in traditional medicine. But their historical significance goes beyond practicality. The deer's connection to immortality and good fortune in ancient Chinese mythology cemented its place in art, literature, and even daily life. China's deer farming industry, home to over 1.2 million deer in 2020 and producing 100,000 tons of venison, surpasses other countries like New Zealand in scale. While New Zealand focuses mainly on red deer, China farms various species, including Sika, Wapiti, and musk deer, enhancing its role in the global market. Chinese deer farms typically feature large fenced areas with grazing and wooded zones for natural foraging, along with facilities for processing meat and antlers, veterinary care, and management infrastructure tailored to support the health and productivity of the deer. Deer, as omnivores, need a nutrient-rich diet that varies by age, sex, and season. For instance, lactating deer require extra protein, and bucks need it for antler growth. On farms, deer are fed a mix of grasses, legumes, forbs, and nutrient-dense feeds like grain, corn, and alfalfa. Farmers also provide fresh water, mineral supplements, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, and adjust feeding based on health needs and seasonal food availability. So you have a happy, healthy deer fed a mixture of grass, grain, and special feed. But how long does it take to get it ready for a feast? Depending on the breed and the farmer's goals, a deer can be ready for processing between 12 and 24 months. But it doesn't just reach a certain age. The deer needs to meet specific standards such as a healthy weight, a good fat-to-muscle ratio, and no signs of disease. Once it passes inspection, it's sent to the food factory. There, processing begins with humane handling, followed by careful skinning and grading. The meat is then inspected, graded, and packaged for distribution. The entire process is meticulously controlled to ensure the highest quality venison is ready for consumers to enjoy. The result is tender, flavorful meat that is increasingly popular in both the Chinese and international markets. But how is this unique meat prepared? Stay tuned until the end to find out how the Chinese prepare it. Deer meat or venison is a lean and nutritious protein source, low in fat and calories, and packed with iron and B vitamins. In Chinese cuisine, braising is a popular method for preparing deer meat, creating tender and flavorful dishes. The slow cooking process allows the meat to absorb the rich aromas of spices and herbs, like cumin, which adds a warm, earthy flavor that complements the meat's natural gamey taste. This combination is particularly popular in northern China, where cumin is a staple spice. The versatility of deer meat, coupled with its nutritional value, makes it a popular choice for both everyday meals and special occasions, offering a unique culinary experience that blends tradition and innovation. While the donkey's role as a work animal has diminished in modern China, its cultural significance remains strong, representing hard work and perseverance. This enduring legacy is a testament to the donkey's enduring place in the hearts and minds of the Chinese people. modern China, the donkey's economic value is tied to its meat and hide, which are still valued commodities. However, the demand for donkey meat has led to concerns about over-exploitation and the need for sustainable practices. The donkey's future in Chinese agriculture and economy is a complex issue that requires careful consideration of its cultural significance, economic value, and animal welfare. While the food factory plays a crucial role in ensuring the quality and safety of donkey meat, the journey from farm to factory often raises ethical concerns. The transportation of donkeys in China, particularly those destined for the food industry, has been criticized for its lack of humane practices. Animals are sometimes crammed into overcrowded trucks, subjected to long journeys without adequate food or water, and exposed to harsh conditions. This raises serious questions about the welfare of the animals and the ethical implications of the meat industry. The lessons learned from this situation highlight the importance of implementing stricter regulations and promoting humane practices throughout the entire supply chain, from farm to food factory. Only by ensuring the ethical treatment of animals can we create a more sustainable and compassionate food industry. Don't forget to subscribe to the Trending Farm channel to support our useful videos. Thank you for your companionship and contribution. See you in the next videos. The global demand for deer antlers, especially velvet antlers, is soaring, driven by their economic and nutritional value. Valued at over $3 billion annually, the deer antler market spans health supplements, traditional medicine, and luxury products. Rich in nutrients like collagen, amino acids, and minerals, velvet antlers are sought for their purported health benefits. Major consumption regions include East Asia, particularly China and South Korea, while New Zealand, Russia, and Canada dominate as leading producers. This booming market rivals the allure of supercars and gold as symbols of wealth. A compelling farming documentary could explore the intricacies of this fascinating industry. Nestled in the rolling countryside of China, a typical deer antler farm spans over 500 acres. Designed with open grazing pastures and sheltered enclosures for year-round care. The farm focuses on raising species like Sika deer and red deer, known for their high-quality velvet antlers. With a herd of over 5,000 deer, this operation showcases large-scale farming at its finest. The owner proudly shares, "These animals are more than livestock. They're part of our heritage, requiring patience and respect to thrive." The farm's layout ensures sustainability with rotational grazing and carefully managed resources, making it a model of efficiency and care in China's growing deer antler industry. In this farming documentary, feeding deer on the farm involves a carefully balanced diet to support optimal antler growth. Deer are typically fed a specially formulated mix of fresh feed, grain, and pellets, with a daily ratio of approximately 70% roughage and 30% concentrate. Experts stress the importance of a diet rich in protein and minerals, especially calcium and phosphorus, which are essential for antler growth. The farm owners note that seasonal adjustments are important, with increased nutrition during the antler growth phase. Proper nutrition not only ensures healthy deer, but also maximizes antler yield, they explain, emphasizing the meticulous care required to produce top-quality antlers. Deer antlers are harvested using two methods: collecting naturally shed antlers and actively cutting velvet antlers. Naturally shed antlers are gathered annually, yielding an average of 2 to 4 pounds per deer, depending on the species. For velvet antlers, which are harvested during their growth phase, farmers collect about 1 to 2 pounds per harvest per deer. This process involves sedating the deer with anesthesia, ensuring a painless and stress-free experience. Veterinarians or trained professionals trim the antlers at specific growth points to prevent harm. The deer receive post-harvest care, including monitoring and supplemental nutrition to aid recovery. These methods in the farming documentary ensure animal welfare while producing high-quality antlers for the growing market. In China, processing deer antlers involves meticulous techniques, especially for dried antlers and those prepared in wine. After harvesting, velvet antlers are cleaned thoroughly to remove impurities. For drying, they are steamed to preserve nutrients, then air-dried or oven-dried at controlled temperatures to prevent spoilage. This method locks in their medicinal properties and ensures a shelf-stable product. For antlers soaked in wine, farmers slice them into thin pieces and immerse them in high-proof rice wine for weeks or months. These processes, often showcased in farming documentaries, demonstrate a blend of tradition and precision to produce high-quality antler products. Deer antlers, particularly velvet antlers, are rich in collagen, amino acids, calcium, and glucosamine, offering benefits for joint health and overall vitality. Research, including studies published in ethnopharmacology, has shown promising results for improving immune function and endurance, though more large-scale clinical trials are needed for definitive proof. The global deer antler market, valued at over $3 billion annually, is growing, especially in East Asia, with a predicted compound annual growth rate of 6 to 8% over the next decade. As demand rises, it is crucial for the industry to maintain sustainable farming practices, validate health claims scientifically, and ensure animal welfare.